Hot damn. It has been a minute. I'm about to run. But before I do, I have to crack open this box. Honestly, it's been here for a couple days. I feel bad about it. But the reality of the situation is I've really tried to be focused on confidence baits, things that work, specific techniques for specific situations. So branching out into my usual chaos, it's I don't want to say that we've put a halter on it, because that's certainly not the truth, but been a little bit more focused. And so where energy comes from, it's got to go to. As you can see, it's a little bit of a mess in here. And again, what that means is that I've taken some energy from trying to stay organized, I've put it to staying focused. I don't know. If you can't relate, that's fine. Just go ahead and click off the video. The data shows that most people do that right about now. Anyway, so if you're not interested in fishing, if you're not interested in new baits, if you're not interested in subscription things, and I don't mean the ones that you don't want your wife to know about.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Don't even joke with me. Anywho, this is the 6th sack for the month of August 2004. I hope that y'all are doing well. I hope that you're staying rad, and I hope that this camera isn't crooked. I would click off of that shit real quick too. Let's see. That's better. Is it better? I don't know. Anywho, I'm gonna kick this off with the fact that as soon as you open the bag, look at this is what I see when I open the bag. Chill out. YouTube be hitting me with that. Are you sure this isn't a sponsored video? No, it's not. This is $36 that I spend every month.
Well, that worked great.
So I'm gonna jump right into it. First off, the Divine spinnerbait. And if you're not familiar, by the way, like, I don't get to pick what's in here. They send it to you every month. Typically, if there's new colors coming out, if there's new baits coming out, you get them a month or so before. They don't charge you extra for it. It's like $50 of value. It's a Texas company. If you don't like Texas, and recently there's a lot of people voicing their displeasure about it.
And I'm proud to be an American.
This might not be for you, and that's okay. Not everything is for everybody. So this is the 6 cents, 1/4 ounce spinnerbait. You can see you got 2 silver willow blades, and this is the new Shad Pro color. So super rad. You already saw some big stuff in the bag, but in the past there have been quite a few people that said that there were some issues with the 6 cent spinnerbaits. The one that I got in my 6 sack when they first started selling spinnerbaits, I never had a problem with. I caught a bunch of fish on it, bent the shit out of it, I bent it all back like every other spinnerbait, and it worked fine. It does have the screw lock on the hook, so yeah, this 1/4 ounce definitely gonna be my more shallow action. They do have heavier ones, you can get deeper, giggity, all that different jazz. Anywho, I've been real happy with them. Sometimes I do a would I buy it, sometimes I do a would I order it, all that different stuff. I don't really have a good scenario for that right now. If I like it, I'll tell you. If I haven't used it, I'll tell you. If I have and I don't like it, I'll tell you that too. We're gonna get some soft plastics out. Oh no shit, I'm super excited. This is the Aussie. And not Aussie like Australian Aussie, but Aussie like Ben Milliken's kid. It is essentially, I mean, it's a do-all trailer. Honestly, it has the tail. It has the tail of the juggle minnow, which, like, I throw a juggle minnow on my spinnerbaits, I throw a juggle minnow on jackhammer, I throw a juggle, like, it's a great trailer. So I don't really know, I don't know where this fits, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's got a bigger body. It does have that hinge, and obviously you can see that hinge creates a little bit more swing, so it is in that limited color. But this is the Aussie 4.0. I mean, it's a trailer. I don't know if that hinge is going to be a place where it gets bit off. I mean, Ben obviously likes it. He might be a little bit partial. It's called he named it after his son. It's pretty dope. You don't like it, if you think it's stupid, then go start your own damn bait company, or go start working for your own dang bait company and get a bait named after your kid, okay? Otherwise, congrats, that is pretty dope. I'm excited. That's cool. I don't have any, so I like new baits. I'm gonna bust out the big one right here. This is a Trace Chrome thread fin, slow sink. If you haven't thrown the trace, it's dope. Like, there's no two ways about it. Does it catch fish in every situation? No, it does not. And you know what? Neither does your favorite bait.
Wrong.
Unless your favorite bait is a jig. Maybe it does catch a fish in every situation.
Wow.
All right, listen. A jointed swim bait is not the bait for every situation. And that's okay. I'm fine with it. Do I like the trace? Yeah, I do. Do I like the slow sink? Yeah, I do. This says suspending slow sink. That is fucking dope. It's easier to make something sink than make it float. So I typically buy my stuff floating or suspending, whatever, and like a neutral buoyancy, and I can add suspend strips, I can add lead wire. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do, but this is the 6-inch trace, and they do give you an extra tail, by the way. You can see it's, you know, all painted up in the same scheme. I'm gonna take this little piece of paper off because it's annoying. All right, now that it's all put in there, I'll show that to you. That is the 6-inch trace, and again, that is in chrome thread fin. This will absolutely get thrown. Like, I mean, this will be shallow water, but as you can see, it just, you know, it just swings. I mean, 17 pound, 20 pound co-poly. Throw it on your favorite line. With these treble hook baits, I like a mono or a co-poly. It's that little bit of extra give. You know, if a fish gets skin hooked and you just freaking lay into them, you can literally rip their skin, rip it out of their mouth. You might have had them pegged, thought you had them pegged, and then before you know it, you're ripping a hook out of their face. So things like mono, co-poly, obviously the right rod, they give goobs like me, you know, a few more % chance of landing the fish. But at any rate, again, that is the chrome thread fin shad in a suspend slow sink. There's that, and we've got a couple more things left. Two hard baits and hooks. All right, we did get it all. We got hard baits and hooks. So hooks, spinnerbait trailer hooks, y'all. If you fish a spinnerbait and you're like, man, they keep hitting it and they're missing it, or they're not hooking up. When I fish a spinnerbait, there are times where they're hitting the blades, and the same thing like when I fish a drop shot and I throw it down and there's a school around, like they hit the shit out of the drop shot weight. You know, these are things that happen. But I do keep trailer hooks with me. I don't always use them, but I do keep them with me, because if I need to be catching fish and they are short striking it, a trailer hook is a great way to do it. There's nothing revolutionary about this, right? It's a 3/0 straight shank hook. Comes in a 5-pack. I've gotten a few of these in the 6-sack bags, and so I keep a little pack on the boat, I keep a little pack on the kayak, I keep a little pack in my shore banging backpack. It's a trailer hooks. It's insurance, just in case. You know or you know. Alrighty. This, I don't fish these much out in open water, but I definitely fish these in ponds. This is the Quake 80 suspending, and it is in the brown eye color. It's a great all-around color. I mean, you can go with bone. I've found that the kind of the yellow and red to be a pretty universal color too. For me, in most situations, I get bit all year long on that as well. But kind of back to this. 6 Cents makes a suspending rattle trap. Okay, it's not a lipless crankbait. Get the fuck out of here. Honestly, for ponds, stuff like that, where you just, you know, you don't want it always having to rip it off the bottom, but you can rip, pause, rip, pause, rip, pause. It has, you know, it goes down a little bit when you go to rip it, you know, it noses over and it goes down, but as soon as you stop it suspends, as it says on the label. Your rod position can definitely affect what it does in the water column and all that different jazz, but that is super dope. That's gonna end up in my truck, because you're cruising around and you see a juicy pond, like fucking throw a rattle trap. Anywho, Quake 80 suspending, if you haven't tried one, that's definitely a recommend. Go buy one of those. If there's one thing in this 6-sack that I would say, if you don't have it, you need to go get one. If you fish ponds at all. Now, if you don't fish ponds, it might not be that big of a deal. But if you do, Quake 80 suspending, I'd say you ought to go get one. I have slayed some dinks in ponds on a suspending rattle trap, and I don't know who else makes one, but I know 6 Cents does. Quake 80 suspending. there you go. The other one, this is it's pretty dope. If you think a 6-inch swim bait is a big deal and you kind of just want to dip your toe into it, this is a great way to do it, honestly. This is the 6 Sense Hybrid Swim Crank. This right here, this is like a subsurface jointed, I don't want to call it a swim bait because it's only like 5/8 ounce, 100 millimeters, so it's not even, that's like 3 inches. This does come in multiple models. There is one with a bill that has a little bit more angle, and that angle, you know, causes it to dive. This one is not that, okay? This is the D1 model, 0 to 1 feet. It's essentially a jointed wake bait, but it'll give you some idea of throwing a jointed bait. It'll give you some idea of a subsurface crank. It'll do that sort of stuff. These float. You're not gonna put suspend strips on this and make it sink a little bit, but I've got a bunch of these. This one happens to be in the Ghost Bone Minnow, killer color. You might not be a 6 Sense guy, you might not like 6 Sense as a fishing company, you may never have even tried them, who knows. I guarantee though, if you just like randomly found my YouTube channel, you sure as hell ain't watching it this long into the video. But listen, 6 Sense does some badass paint jobs. I'll even get up for you, you can see it, look at. Oh yeah, it's got feather tail. So that Ghost Bone, it does have some of that. It's slightly opaque, but it's got that nice white bottom, that nice green-white top, and everything you've come to expect from paint jobs on 6 Sense. They last pretty good. This will definitely get chewed. I mean, it's summertime. You should always have a topwater tied on. You should always have a wake bait tied on, something up high in the water column. A lot of those bait fish will move up, and the food chain, it follows itself. So you thought that this was just a 6-sack unboxing, but here we are talking about the food chain and water column and why fish are at the top of the water. That's all for a different day. If you're not subscribed, you'll never see it.
It's probably best you don't know the whole story, okay?
If you are, you're fucking awesome. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying rad. I hope you tune in the next video. I've got a whole trip to Pennsylvania, Susquehanna, River Smalleys, all that stuff. It's in the works, just OCD. I've got to enjoy watching it before I'm gonna do a final cut and post it. So that's the deal. You're freaking awesome. Get out of here.